Hi, my name is Tashi, and you're watching Beauty in the Bar. So I'm absolutely surrounded by a ton of my makeup because I got this comment on a video from someone whose username is CJ Evans, and they said they would like to basically see or get a feel for my collection and would like to see me like do an inventory of my collection, and then also they wanted to know the value of it. And I thought that was so interesting because I love counting things. Not a huge fan of math in general, but I like to kind of like go through and touch and feel and look at and remember all the things that I own. So I did that, and I'm gonna do a little bit of an inventory today. It's not really an inventory because that is something much more detailed, I think. But what I'm gonna do is show you the products that I have that are not from 2020. So I did the whole series of reviewing or quick reviews of my purchases that I made in 2020 or things I acquired in 2020. And I'm going to show you all the things that weren't from 2020 because like I said, that was the majority of my collection. So I have all the things that aren't from 2020 here. I'm going to see how quickly I can get through all these things, and we'll see. We'll just see. We're going to go. So I'm going to start out with foundation. Why don't we start with foundation? I only have one foundation that I still have in my collection that's from before 2020. It's the Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Pro Filt'r Foundation in the shade 385. I really like this. It's what I'm wearing today. I wear it all the time. This is my second bottle. I completed a full bottle, and then a friend bought this for me in, I want to say, December of 2019. Yes, December of 2019. So I'm still going through this. I've taken breaks and used other things here and there, but this is like the main thing that I'm working through right now. So we have that. Okay. The next thing that I'll show you is concealers. I have two concealers that weren't from 2020. Oh, and mind you, I just want to say this is not everything that I own because I do have a lot of like deluxe size samples of things, but this is all of the full-sized products that I own. And you know, yeah, this is basically just all, I'm going to show you all the full-size products that I own that weren't from 2020. So anyway, concealers. I have the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer 2-in-1. This is very old. I did a no-buy in 2018, and I'm pretty sure, and I know this isn't from 2020 or 2019. So that means this is at least 2017 or before, and I feel like it might have even been like 2016. So I'm almost done with this. You could probably call it done. I've like already taken the stopper out, and I'm scraping the sides of it. It's not breaking me out, or like I'm not having any negative effects on my skin. So I'm just going to keep going with it. And I don't know what shade this is because 21 Cream Caramel. If you are anywhere close to my skin tone and you are interested in that. Okay, the other one is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I've had this since 2018. This was a replacement in 2018 for me because I was on a replacement only no buy. And I have used this. This has been pretty much the only concealer I've used since then. Like, I've tried other things, but this is the main one that I've used like every time I've done my makeup. And still, I think I'm probably like 2/3 of the way through it. So good value for money. I don't buy from Too Faced anymore, but I will be like looking for a replacement for this once it's finished, but I'm not sure it's going to be finished anytime soon. Like, I'm getting to the point where I think this is still going to be in my life in 2022, and I'm going to have to make some like hard and fast decisions about whether to keep this. But judging by this one, we probably know which way I'm going to go. Okay, for powders, I only have one full-size powder, and I got it in, I want to say in 2019. It's the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r powder in Hazelnut. I really like this. It's a pretty good shade for me. It doesn't need to be like, it's a powder, basically kind of a translucent powder. So it doesn't need to be spot on. There's tons of product in here. Like, I'm going to be going through this forever, but I've been working my way through some samples lately. I powder my face every time I do my makeup because I have really oily skin, but this is still like going strong, and I do really like it. I think it gives like a nice smooth finish. I haven't had any issues with it, so that's been great. Okay, now I guess I'll move on to blushes. So the blushes that I have are kind of spread out among many different little palettes that you see me collecting. I mean, you can't see my hands, but I'm like collecting all of the various blushes into my hands. Okay, so one thing that's definitely from before my no buy is this Morphe blush palette. It's the 9B palette, and it looks barely used, but I did use it a ton when I first got it, and I just haven't used it a whole lot since, but I really like it. It's good quality. It wasn't expensive. I'm not a huge Morphe fan, but this was very well made, and even though things look kind of untouched, I did use them a lot, and it's a nice variety of colors, especially like this bright red down here. Like, I mean, it's really nice. I should use this more. Maybe I'll try to pick this up again soon. Another blush that I have is the Urban Decay Afterglow 8-Hour Powder Blush in the shade Rapture. It's like a kind of a mauve shade. I really like this. It goes on smooth. It's a super pretty color, very easy to use. I think that this product is discontinued now, but you know, I look like I barely scratched the surface of this, but this is another one that I've used quite a bit. But the Urban Decay powder formulas tend to be very densely packed, so you would never know anyway. I don't know. I'm starting to think that maybe I should do a project pan and start looking at some of the older products in my collection and, you know, seeing what I can get some good use out of before things are long expired, even if they're not already long expired. So yeah, if you'd be interested in seeing me make some project pan content, let me know in the comments, because that would be something I'd be interested in trying for myself. Okay, another blush that I have, this isn't a full size, but this shade doesn't come in a full size, so I had asked for this for Christmas or my birthday, and my friend Aaliyah, hi Aaliyah, if you're watching, got me this. It's the Nars, I guess just Nars Blush. I don't know if it's a special, I think they only have one type, and it's in the shade Gulu. I had this same size of this before because it was a Sephora VIB perk one year, or like welcome gift one year. It's just like a really nice pink shade. I just think it's a really good shade for me. And it's got kind of a shimmer, but not a glitter. Like, it makes you look a little bit glowy. This is what I'm wearing today, actually, I think. Yeah, this is what I put on today. I have Wet n Wild highlighter that I'll show you later on over top, but I really like this a lot. And I used up the whole like little pan of it, and then I asked for it and got it over again. Another thing that I have is this Smashbox Step by Step Contour Palette. I use this all the time. I have the contour on today. It comes in a light shade and a deep shade, and this is my second time around getting the deep shade, maybe even my third, because it went on sale and I think I like bought two and I already had one. So I'm like, obviously I have some good pan in the contour and the blush in here. I'm really more so working on the contour, and I have the blush from an older version of this. Like I said, I had it before. So in here, in this little Z palette, I also depotted and have another pan of that same blush, which I do like a lot. I just don't use blush as quickly as contour because I have more blushes to choose from. And then I think that's it for like the blushes that I have that aren't from 2020. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to highlighters. I'll start with this Z palette that I just showed you. This is a highlighter that has been depotted from another palette that I have, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit in Sun Dipped. This whole kit, and I'll show you the whole thing. This whole kit is really awesome. You know, I have a somewhat, you know, on the broad spectrum, a deeper skin tone, and I can use every shade in here. This one I had to repress because I think it fell and broke and it crumbled, and I just repressed it. This is the one I had been using the most anyway. These shades look pretty untouched, but I have used them quite a bit, especially when I first got this palette, but it has been neglected over the last couple of years. I got this probably back in 2017. And then also in this Z palette, I have a ColourPop highlighter here. I don't know what shade it is because I depotted it and I just don't remember. But the ColourPop highlighters are really smooth, soft. I also got this one probably back in 2017. And it's still holding up strong. It's still like really smooth and shimmery. And yeah, so you look at that. Can you see that? It's hard because it's very, very similar to my skin tone. It's a bronze color, but it's really nice. I like it a lot. And then I have this, sorry. Okay, so I also have this Wet n Wild highlighter. It's a Megaglo highlighting powder in the shade The Sweetest Bling. And this is discontinued now, but I love it. And like, part of me is like, never use this up. But I'm so far from hitting pan and I've used this a ton of times and I get compliments every time I use this. It's really, really nice and pretty and like shimmery. Oh, I have it on today so you can see what it looks like. I'm just like, I am a pink fairy princess. Like, I love it. And it was only like $5. Like the value to cost is insane, especially for how much product is in here. So that's why I got one of the newer Wet n Wild Megaglo highlighters. They're like the dual highlighters, highlighter blush. They're highlighter blush duos. And I really like that too. I don't like it as much as this original one, but it's pretty. It's definitely pretty. And I have one more ColourPop highlighter. It's maybe the same, if not the same shade. It's in this baggie because it is totally broken up. Like this is real life over here, guys. And I feel the same way about it. I think that these things are almost identical, so I should probably just go ahead and get rid of this and keep the one that I have in my Z palette, but we'll see what I do. I could see myself like crushing this up and adding it to some kind of moisturizer to make like a glowy body moisturizer, doing something similar to that. So we'll see. Moving on to contour, I already showed you that I have a contour in the Smashbox palette, but I also have this Urban Decay Naked Skin Shapeshifter palette. I don't think this was a very popular palette when it came out, but here it is. It had two contour shades, this kind of like highlighting powder for contouring, and it had a shimmery like pink highlight, but I didn't like the highlight. I think I depotted. Well, it must have broken or I got rid of it because I didn't use this up. It was really, really powdery and chalky and I didn't like it at all. But the contour powders are great. I just have been using the Smashbox ones more. So I like got this first, tried these out, and then kind of haven't touched them much since. And then the other side of the palette, it's got like a, sorry for blinding you, it's got like a flip side. The other side is all the cream products. So there's a cream bronzer, cream like kind of highlighting, like lighter shade highlight, not highlighter, like shiny highlight. A color corrector, which I've used quite a bit of. I haven't used this in a long time and I maybe shouldn't because this is pretty old. This is again from like 2017. But a color corrector that was pretty good. And some kind of like highlighting creams. I tried these and they didn't do much for me. So yeah, I think people just really didn't vibe with this palette, and I can kind of see why because it's so many different products with so many different like levels of quality and purposes that, yeah, I mean, I get it, but I like it. I like the contours in here, and it was like $45, and I feel like just for getting like 2 powder contours and a cream contour, it's worth it. So I'm going to move on to eye products that I got in 2020. First, I have some single shadows in this Z palette. As you can see, some of these came from a very old Urban Decay NYC palette, and I think at least one of these is like matte cranberry and one is like copper or something, but it's hard for me to remember because I depotted them and I don't have like the labels on there, but those are in there. And I also have another Z palette of shimmer shadows. These are pretty much all from that Urban Decay NYC palette that came out a million years ago, like way older ago than I should still be using, but I'm still using it. And I have this shade right here, which I think is Psychedelic Sister, on my eyes today. And then I have this single of an Urban Decay shadow. I want to say it's called like Mildew, I think it is. And then a couple of these are from an old Wet n Wild palette, one of those like popular ones. If you know what I'm talking about. They have those like popular quads that they just like repackaged or reformulated. So that's those. And then I have some more palettes. I have this giant Morphe 35 OS palette, which I got because I wanted to do like fall looks, but it's super repetitive and super huge. So I think I've probably used this like twice, and I just keep it for the rare occasions that I'm like, I want to do an orange eye and I don't use my Born to Run palette, which is almost never. But the shades do seem to be really nice quality, and I think there might be like one matte in here. It's pretty much 100% shimmer palette, and they're like very nice. Like, let me just try one for you. And that's why I keep not decluttering it, because I always want to declutter them and then I like start to swatch them and I change my mind. So, but this palette's not getting a whole lot of use, unfortunately. And I have a few more larger, whatever, eyeshadow palettes here. I've got the original Naked palette. It's probably the palette I would recommend the most for beginners. If it's like your first palette, I would get this. I've also got the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. It's super grimy and dirty and very well used and loved, and I've got like huge pan in the shade Primavera. I use this a lot even to this day, and I got this maybe in 2017 as well. And it's still like one of my most used palettes. I'm surprised that I don't have pan in more shades, because it's good quality and I really enjoy the colors. And then I have the Amrezi palette from ABH. I got this as a gift, which well, I guess I didn't ask for it, but my friends knew I wanted it. I got it as a gift and I love it. And it's super like pretty and shimmery, and the color story is really interesting. And I used it a lot when I first got it, but then I got other palettes and it kind of fell by the wayside, which is something I'm trying to avoid this year as well by doing a no-buy. But this would be another one that I might throw into a project pan to get some more use out of, because I started using newer palettes and just kind of like forgot about this one, even though it's great and I love it. It's great. And I mean, these products that I've had since 2017 for the most part, like, I like all of them, because otherwise I would have decluttered them long ago. So I have a few smaller palettes. One is the Viseart Dark Mattes palette. I use this anytime I want to basically do like an all one color look and I don't have a matte that like really fits. So it's very useful for that. But that doesn't happen like that often. So it hasn't gotten as much use as one would hope, but it's really nice. Was it worth the $80 it cost? I also have the Naked 2 Basics palette. This is very well used, well loved. I basically panned almost every shade. This one kind of broke, so I only used about half of this and it broke, and the rest just kind of broke. But yeah, really into these, and I still use these on a regular basis. Like I used this shade yesterday, so. Then I have this little Fiona Styles palette. It's an artist eyeshadow quad in the shade Electra. It's 4 purple shades. I used this a lot when I first got it, but it's another one of those that kind of fell by the wayside, unfortunately. But it is really nice and good quality, and I got it for a great deal. I got it from Ulta way back when. So I think that's all for the eyes. I'll move on to, or all for eyeshadow. I'll move on to other eye products. I have an eye primer. It's the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Minor Sin. It's a shimmery eye primer. I like this a lot. It does a good job, but I don't know that I would go back and buy a shimmer eye primer again, because I usually don't love taking shimmer up into my crease. I do it sometimes, but not always. And using this means you can't really have a totally matte look. So I think it's more useful to have just a matte eye primer and go ahead and put your shimmers over top of it. And then I have a couple of eyeliners. Well, they're actually shadow sticks, but I use them as eyeliners. This is the Mally Shadow Stick Extra in the color Burnished Bronze, and this is the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick Eye Color in the color Plum. This is a purple, obviously. This is a bronze. And I use these in my waterline because they're nice and soft for lining my waterline. I have this purple one in my waterline today, the Plum shade. I don't use these as often as I would hope. This one because I don't do purple eye looks that often, and this one because it's just like, I don't know, I just stopped favoring this. It's good for like opening up the eye if you have like a brown or bronzy skin tone. So another thing that could go into pan, but I just need to go back to trying this and using this a little bit more. Another eyeliner that I have is the Ciate Wonder Wand. I'm working on this and have been working on this for a long time. I pretty much only use it in my waterline, and this is the black shade. And I like it. It's fine. To me, kind of an eyeliner is an eyeliner is an eyeliner, but... And I also have the Mally Volumizing Mascara in black. This is discontinued. I've been using, this is first of all, like pretty much totally dried out. I've been using it over top of Urban Decay Perversion to add additional volume. I have it on today over the top of Urban Decay Perversion, but I don't love it. It's pretty clumpy. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend, it fell. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. Okay, so I have just some more. I thought I was done with eyeshadow, but I'm a big liar. I have some more single eyeshadows. This is a Melt eyeshadow in the shade Promiscuous. It's a shimmery purple. I haven't worked with this that much. I got it and then, I don't know, like I ended up decluttering other shades in the palette because they kind of like dried out and got hard pan. And when I do purple looks, I really don't reach for a single. I go for like either this, you know, shimmery palette here, or I'll go for my Born to Run palette. So this is another one that like hasn't gotten a lot of love and attention, and this probably is headed for a declutter soon. I've got Nars Himalaya. This is a like shimmery pink shade. I've only used this like once. It's nice quality, but I wouldn't pay the price for it. I got this in a set of other things. But I think this eyeshadow separately is like $30 or something. And I just don't think it's high impact enough for that, but it is what it is. Here is Pop Goes the Shadow in the shade, I think Pop is the brand, and then this is the shade Gunmetal. It's sort of like, it's silver, but it almost has like a purple reflector undertone. I got this in an Ipsy box. That's it right there. And I don't use it that often, but I do like it, and that's why it keeps surviving declutters. I have a couple of Super Shock shadows, one in the shade Seeker and one in the shade Liberty. Liberty is a silver shadow. Seeker is like a matte berry color. I used this one quite a bit when I first got it because I was really into doing silver looks, but I haven't used either of these a lot recently. But surprisingly, even though they're Super Shocks, as far as I know, they haven't dried up. So I may go ahead and like do a look. Maybe I'll do a look with both of these soon. They were nice and cheap, and I don't have anything bad to say about them. And then I have a single of Urban Decay Bordello, which is this like light shimmery purple. Really pretty, good quality. I just don't reach for shimmers that often. I mean, not shimmers, for single shadows that often. So that's why this hasn't gotten a ton of use. Okay, now we're on to lip products. Got a jar of them here. This is ColourPop Friday, their liquid lipstick. I really like this. And because it's like $5 or $6, it's great for the type of shade that you know you're not going to wear a lot. So this is very old. I think this is from like 2016 or 2017. So it's on its last leg. I would repurchase this because I think it's worth it. And this is not something I'm going to use up. This is something I'll get rid of because it expired. I wore this to the premiere of Black Panther and I was like, I love this. It's just spot on. I've got this L'Oreal Glossy Balm in the shade Petite Plum. You can still get the Glossy Balm, but I think Petite Plum, the shade, is discontinued. But I would recommend this product in general because it's just really pretty, really comfortable, glossy, not sticky, and not expensive. I think it's probably like $6 to $8 in drugstores. And you get a ton of product. I can't see myself. I use this quite a bit actually. Like every time I do a berry lip, I feel like I want to reach for that. So yeah. I've also got this Sweet Lips Organic Honey Lip Balm. This is the second one that I had. I used up an entire one. It's really nice. It's more of a waxy than like a glossy or a gooey lip balm. And I enjoy it. It's $10, so I don't know if I would pay that for any lip balm, but I enjoy it. I've got an Urban Decay Vice lipstick in the shade Bruise. It's a berry shade, and I really like it, but I don't wear berry lips that often. And like I said, when I do, I'm always reaching for that L'Oreal one for like a more glossy look. But it is nice, and the quality is okay. It can be a little patchy, but these are like always on sale. Like I feel like I got this on sale. If this is still available, I feel like it's always on sale. So that kind of makes up for it, in my opinion. I've also got this Fenty Beauty, what do they call these? Lip paint. Stunna lip paint in the shade Uncensored. It's like the bright red one. It's, I think, the only bright red I own other than like that Glossier, like more sheer bright red in the shade Baby. It's the Vinylic lip in the shade Baby. So this is my only like matte, like bold red, and I really like it. It's very like creamy and moussey. It doesn't really dry down, and there's pros and cons to that. The pro is that it is very comfortable to wear, but the con is that it can be a little bit messy to apply. And that's pretty much it. I like it. I would buy it again. Like if I lost it, I would go and repurchase that same thing. Next is brow products. I have just a few. This first one is the Kiko Milano brow. It's like brow definer or brow magic or something like that. I've had this for a long time, and it's the only brow pencil. I've had this for a long time, and it's the only brow product I've been using for literal years. And I like still have so much of it. And it's really cheap, and it's good. If you like the brow definer, like Anastasia brow definer type pencils with the triangle that's a little bit bigger, this is like perfect. And I have the black shade, but I don't know what it's actually called. I've got the Kiko Brow Designer Gel Mascara. The lid is gone. There was a cap, but I don't know what happened to it. It like fell off because I've had this also for longer than I should have, for years. This gel does a good job. I've used the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, and that's like miles away, like miles stronger. But if you don't have like really fluffy, thick brows and you just need something to lay your brows down, this will do it. I have it on today, and especially for the price, it's great. And then I have the Glossier Boy Brow. I have this on today. This is almost done for me, and I will definitely miss this. It's great. I think it's very comparable to the Benefit, I'll put the name of it down below, but Benefit has like a brow gel, a colored brow gel that's very similar. This is the shade Black. And it's really great, worth it. This looks like a very small tube, and it is, but it lasts a really long time because you only need a little bit every time you use it. The final category that I have is setting sprays, and I have two that I had before 2020. The first is the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. I feel like this is the OG that everyone uses or has tried. I really like it, but I like the oil control one better, so I really only use this to wet my brush, or when I'm going out like in the nighttime, not for very long, or I'm just not gonna have my makeup on for long. And then I have the Kate Somerville Uncomplicated SPF 50 setting spray. I really like this. I have another bottle of it that I did get in 2020, and this is almost done. It's great for when you know you're gonna be out in the sun, and it gives a really nice blurring effect. So I would recommend this, although I think maybe it's being discontinued because I saw it discounted. That's why I got the second bottle and scooped that up really quickly. That's all there is, folks. That's the whole rest of my collection. I know this video got really long, but that's the whole rest of my collection other than the purchases that I made in 2020. If you have any additional video recommendations, let me know down below. Thank you for watching. Like this video if you liked it, share it with whoever you'd like, and subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.